Special Friday edition of Locked On Lions as training camp continues from Allen Park. Let's do this.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network, Matt Dery with you. It is a Friday, August 5th, and a Saturday, August 6th. Tomorrow, the Lions will be down at Ford Field for an open practice in front of you, the fans. And they were back in the practice field today for, I believe, day 9 of training camp, back in pads. We'll have an update, a recap of everything that went on. Brad Holmes spoke to Sirius XM NFL Radio. We'll get into that. The wide receiver room is really improving. So much to talk about, a Josh Paschal update and more today on a Friday. Matt Dery with you on Locked On Lions. Thank you for listening, making us your first listen each and every day here on the show. You can follow me on Twitter at Dery Speaks, Dery Speaks, at Locked On Lions on Twitter, the Matt Dery Facebook fan page, and also please follow us if you can on YouTube and watch us on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Thanks for checking us out. Let's start with this. Number one, yesterday, Glover Quinn was on the show. If you missed the show from yesterday, GQ, former Pro Bowl safety, 6 years for the Lions, retired, I believe, after what, the 18 season? He was released in February of 2019 and then subsequently retired. Glover Quinn was on the show yesterday. Go back and watch or take a listen to yesterday's show. Glover was fantastic. He's coming to town for the first time since 2018 to check out the fellas on Monday at practice, and he's very bullish on the Lions. He said yesterday, yeah, they went 3-13-1 last year, but they're only a little bit margin away of turning that around. He didn't say 14-3, but he said they can win a lot of football games this year. And so go back and take a listen to Glover yesterday. He was fantastic, and we'll have him on again as he does the Believe in Lions podcast on the Believe Podcast Network. I want to start off and say something here before we get into specifics and players and things that went on at camp over the last 24 hours. Folks, I'm going to say something that you may be surprised that I'm saying, or you're going to hold your breath and go, uh-oh. But listen to me when I tell you this. The Detroit Lions are doing a lot of things right. You heard me. Let me repeat myself. The Detroit Lions, yes, the local football team. Yes, those Lions. The Ford-owned Lions, yes, those Lions are doing a lot of good right now. The Lions are on the right path. And off the field, and again, look, proof is in the pudding. Let's see them win more games this year. Let's see them at least double their win total. All of those things, all right? They've got to produce. Last year was the sexiest 3-win team in the history of the NFL. Oh, the Lions play so hard. Love my Lions. Woohoo! Effort. Dan Campbell. Intensity. They're in every game. They lost 13 freaking games. All right, I want to see results this year. I'm not talking playoffs or anything like that, but I want to see 6-7 wins, and I want to see improvement. But I'm telling you right now, as training camp winds down in week 2, they're doing a lot of good. If you saw this yesterday, and again, this has nothing to do with football, so this is one of the examples I'll give you. If you saw the video yesterday on the Lions website and the Lions social media, Dan Campbell was signing autographs after practice. He was signing autographs. He was shaking hands, fist bumping people. A little kid named Logan with glasses on says, "Hey, Coach, tell TJ Hawkinson hello from me." All right? This is such a minor thing, and some of you are going to go, "Oh, God, what are you just lathering up in the Lions butter?" Just bear with me here. Dan Campbell told the kid, "I'll tell him. What's your name?" And the kid said, "Logan." He took a Sharpie, wrote Logan on his hand, left hand, wrote TJ Hawkinson on his left hand, eventually went and found Hawkinson after practice. Hawkinson, he tells Hawkinson, this kid's asking to say hi, wanted to say hi to you. Hawkinson hops on a video that the team produced saying, hey, Logan, coach told me to say hi. Thanks for coming out today. Go Lions. Little things that this organization in the past never, ever did. That's awesome. That was really cool. The head coach, we've had some head coaches here that have been complete Richards, okay, to clean it up a bit. Would never have done something like that. This is football. We're just going to focus on football. Dan Campbell made a kid's day. There's little things going on in Allen Park that have been cleaned up by this new regime, and they're doing them right. Again, Dan Campbell can be the nicest guy in the world. Dan Campbell can be Superman. He can be the greatest interview. He can bite kneecaps. He can tell little kids that he's going to tell their favorite player hello, and then he does do it. I get all that. But they have to win, all right? Or Dan Campbell will be run out of town, just like Jim Schwartz was, and Jim Caldwell was, and Marty Morningwig was, and Gary Moeller was, and, of course, Matt Patricia was. But I'm just telling you, everybody I'm talking to around the team, like Glover Quinn said yesterday, guys like coming to work. This thing seems to be on the right path. They're doing little things right, PR-wise, off the field. Look at what a disaster the Detroit Tigers are. They're horrible. Oh, they're finally retiring Lou Whitaker's number this weekend. Yay, Tigers. Only took you 20 years. They just bumbled that completely. Poor Lou Whitaker. Every article now is, well, Lou Whitaker hopes the Hall of Fame calls. Well, the Tigers didn't call for years. Guy's number wasn't retired. You think he's going to go in the Hall of Fame when his own team doesn't even give him DAP? But see, the Lions, this new regime hasn't done that. They've done all the right things off the field. They're doing this correctly. They answer media's questions. They help fans out. They say hi to little kids. They do fun videos. They're doing Hard Knocks next week, Tuesday, 10 o'clock on HBO Eastern. They're getting it. Again, I know what the SOL crowd will say. Yeah, show me. I'm Missouri. Show me. Win games. Don't be, I'm just telling you, they seem to have it together. Dan Campbell said this morning something about, in his media session, we're all on the same page. We're all in the meeting room talking about plays. We're going over things. The quarterback, the coordinator, the offense, we're on the same page. You know how many years this team was never on the same freaking page? It's just refreshing. I don't know if it's going to lead to more wins. This schedule is pretty soft. The division isn't good. They should win more games. The roster's better. But again, I'm going to wait and see. But I'm just telling you, they're doing a lot right now. All right, coming up next, excuse me, two positions we got to talk about. Two rooms in Allen Park, the receiver room and the linebacker room. I have some thoughts on it coming up next. Want to tell you, though, first about our friends at Dave. If you're living paycheck to paycheck or struggling to make ends meet, it can be really stressful when unexpected expenses come up. Stuff pops up around the house, something with your car, got invited to a wedding, and you got to pay for a gift. It's a lot. Now Dave can help you get out of a pinch when you really need it. Dave is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. That's more money to fill your tank, buy a wedding gift, or catch up on bills. You can finally tackle those expenses that have been stressing you out without any hang-ups. There's no interest and no credit check needed. Millions of people have already downloaded the Dave app to get the financial relief they need with extra cash. So if you're in a pinch, need some extra help, download Dave and think of it as a helping hand from future you. Download the Dave app from the App Store right now. Just do it on your phone. That's DAVE, Dave. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve. Member FDIC. Future you will thank you. All right, Friday edition of Locked On Lions. Did anybody see this, by the way? And our executive producer, my boy Nathan Litke, pointed this out to me today. Matthew Stafford's elbow is bad, and the Rams are not hiding it. The Rams and Sean McVay are like, yep, it's sore. Yep, we've held him out of throwing the ball a lot so far in training camp, and there are concerns in Los Angeles about Matthew Stafford's elbow. If this has to be the John Wofford show this year and Stafford's out for an extended period of time, that helps the Lions in the first round of the draft. They've got the Rams' 2023 first round pick. You never root for injuries. I'm not rooting for Stafford to be hurt. Don't take it the wrong way. This is purely looking at the Lions draft for next year. If Stafford is out and this throwing elbow continues to flare up, supposedly it flared up last year. There were some games he didn't play as well, and now they're pointing to this elbow injury. Keep an eye on this. If anybody has seen this story coming out of Los Angeles. All right, Brad Holmes was on Sirius XM NFL Radio. Jim Miller and Pat Kerwin, Moving the Chains or Inside the Huddle, whatever the show is called. I think it's Moving the Chains. Move the Chains. Engineer Albert Dale was in Allen Park as well. Anyway, Brad Holmes was on with those guys yesterday, and they were asking him about positions and certain battles that are going on within the team. And he said, Brad Holmes did, that there is a fierce competition in the inside linebacker room. And the two guys that he mentioned, Derek Barnes, second-year man, of course, out of Purdue, and Malcolm Rodriguez, the rookie from Oklahoma State. First of all, if you listened to Locked On Lions last year, you know that I was very hard on the linebackers. And I'm harsh on the linebackers because, quite honestly, the Lions haven't had good linebackers in years. Going back to when DeAndre Levy was serviceable and Stephen Tulloch, this team has struggled at the linebacker position. And Jared Davis is back, and Jared Davis is back. That's all I'll say. He wasn't good the first time. But Brad Holmes made a point of saying to keep an eye on Malcolm Rodriguez, who, if you recall, was a 6th-round draft pick and quite honestly slipped in the draft. Undersized. You look at his numbers and everything else at Oklahoma State and you go, wow, he's a 3rd or 4th round grade. And it turned out he was not. But today, in training camp, in Allen Park, out at 222 Rodwood Drive, Malcolm Rodriguez got reps with the first team. First team reps today for Rodriguez. He has made plays. He has been in the backfield. He has been disruptive. And he is rewarded today being moved up. Now remember, Alex Anzalone is there. Jared Davis is there. Sean Dion Hamilton is there. All right, Hamilton. Derek Barnes is there. The Lions have loaded up on a bunch of different linebackers just to see, throw a couple against the wall and see what sticks. But Rodriguez getting first-team reps is very, very interesting. Number 2, both Holmes and Dan Campbell have said Derek Barnes has made a big leap from year 1 to year 2. Remember, last year, Barnes, a 5th-round pick, was sort of under the tutelage of Chris Spielman, who, of course, is in the front office. And anytime he got on the field, he struggled. All right? Derek Barnes made an occasional play. I think that was the game against Minnesota or one of the teams late in the year. Barnes, it was a 2nd or 3rd and goal, got in the backfield and made a stop. You're like, oh, Derek Barnes, tackle for loss. Pro Football Focus looked at Derek Barnes differently. Our friends at PFF did not grade him out very well at all. Now, with Anzalone back, Jared Davis back, there's some guys that have holes in their game. They just do. All right? If Alex Anzalone was really good, the Lions would have signed him to a multi-year deal, not 2 one-year deals. New Orleans would have kept him. If Jared Davis were any good, he'd still be with the Jets. All right? But fierce competition at linebacker is a good thing, and I'm loving that here on August 5th, we're talking about players like a 2nd-year man in Derek Barnes and a 1st-year guy in Malcolm Rodriguez getting an opportunity to get some snaps and get some reps with the first team. So keep an eye on that. I really like that story. Also, Holmes mentioned the receivers and how much better they are. And folks, I got to tell you, every highlight it seems like that the Lions are sharing on social media is like some sort of DJ Chark great catch or an Amon-Ra St. Brown play. Do you remember last year just how bad this wide receiver room was? And how at the start of the season, the team was hopeful that Brashad Perriman and I can't even say Tyrell Williams were going to do anything. And it turned out the 4th round pick, a guy that was going to be a 3rd down receiver, maybe a possession guy and a slot guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown, caught 90 balls and was clearly the best offensive weapon on a bad football team. Ben Johnson spoke today, the Lions offensive coordinator. We do not know who's calling plays. Dan Campbell again said today, it might come down to the week of the first game of the year against Philly when we make a decision on who's going to call the plays. Dan Campbell, God bless him, is lying. Dan Campbell is going to be calling the plays. Don't think anything of that. The Lions are playing a little game of chicken here. They don't want the opposition to know. But the head coach isn't just going to not call the plays again like he did last year. He took over play calling middle of the year last year. You think he's going to stop? Oh, yeah, I just did that at the end of the year. Dan Campbell's calling the plays. Anyway, Ben Johnson said today, Amon-Ra St. Brown is special. Quote, end quote. He's special, man. Let's go back again and play this. When was the last time game? When was the last time the Lions had anybody on offense that was called special? GQ yesterday, Glover Quinn said, I like some of the pieces on offense, but are any of them really that great? Do we have a Pro Bowler? Do we have an All-Pro? Do we have somebody that could have put fear into the opposition? Today, Ben Johnson said, you would not believe how hard Amon-Ra St. Brown is working. He's not satisfied with what he did a year ago. And all this guy is doing is catching balls in traffic at practice. Now, remember last year at training camp, none of those passes were thrown by Jared Goff. He was checked down Charlie in freaking August and July last year at training camp. Offense seems to be a little bit more free-flowing, a little bit more risk-taking. And yes, finally we're starting to see at camp Jared Goff trying to fit some balls into traffic. Amen. Let's go here. This is 2022. Last year's offense was from the Stone Ages. It was horrible. It's like Rex Ryan ground and pound light. I like the Lions offensive line. I like the running backs. But hey, if DJ Chark, number 4, is going to make spectacular catches every day at practice, let's see it in the game. Amon-Ra St. Brown is special, according to Ben Johnson. Let's see it in the game. Let's see him catch 100 passes this year. 2 other quick notes on the defense. We'll do that coming up next. Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. That is Bet Online. You wanted to bet on last night's Hall of Fame game? I know some of you degenerates did that. Over-unders, prop bets, all of that is there at betonline.net. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information. From live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts, they have you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, they are really the best, and they are where the game starts. Folks, just as I was sort of trashing, I wasn't trashing, but I was sort of taking a little bit of a shot at Alex Anzalone, Gaines Media poster boy Alex Anzalone. Today, Anzalone stepped in front of a Jared Goff pass and took it to the house. A pick 6 for the blonde bombshell, number 34. Alex Anzalone had a pick 6 today at training camp. Props to Alex Anzalone. Also today, Josh Paschal news. The Lions' second-round pick and part of the second-round jinx. Still recovering from sports hernia surgery today. Dan Campbell said to the media this morning, Paschal, is ahead of schedule. Great news. We talked about it last week. It just seems like with second-round picks in this organization is almost like a jinx. My goodness. I mean, I know DeAndre Swift's a pretty good player, but second-round hex, man. Tease Tabor. Onwuzurike was bad last year. Kerryon Johnson never developed into anything. Jelani Tavai. I mean, the list goes on and on. Second-round hex. But you hope Josh Paschal can be back soon. Good news, ahead of schedule coming back from the hernia surgery. So with the way Austin Bryant, though, has been playing, I'm not saying they don't need Josh Paschal. You took him in the second round for a reason, but Bryant's been pretty good, so that's been good off the edge. All right, there's your Friday edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, making us your first listen. Have a great weekend, everybody.